Hello and welcome to Room 101, the show where we bring on guests and get them to throw things they hate, those pet peeves, into our special room. And today, our guest is Gym Moron Idiot Fool.
Yeah, I want to put knee wraps and wrist straps into one-on-one. If you go to the gym and you use wrist wraps or knee wraps, you're a pansy, you're a moron, you're an idiot. If you're not doing it with your hand, you may as well go live with your nan.
Well, not only is that one of the stupidest things I've ever heard anybody say, you're an absolute buffoon. Why the hell would you want to restrict your own lifts? Simon Miller, the bald a-hole here, and Gerald the... No, I'm not singing. It's not Grease. How weird is that when you watch Grease and John Travolta just swings in and goes, you're the one, and you're like, what are you doing? Talk to me like a regular human being. It's Gerald the fitness mascot, here to support all your fitness goals and all your fitness gains. Learning what to do in the gym is really hard, especially when you first go. And certain people are going to tell you to do this, and certain people are going to tell you to do that. And 9 times out of 10, especially if you give it a good old Google, you're going to learn a lot of good information. However, there are other tidbits out there that are even crapped on by the fitness community or are just completely ignored, even though they are going to be able to help you to have a better workout. And why the hell wouldn't you want that? That's all we want every time we go in there. We want to get the muscle pump, we want to look in the mirror and finally feel good about ourselves, and we want to know that we are progressing. So to help you with that, here are 10 things that you don't do in the gym that you absolutely should. Number 10 is wrist wraps or knee wraps. Now, there is at least 67% of the people watching this that have gone, oh, if you do any kind of heavy lift with a knee wrap or wrist wraps, not a real lift. That's not how it works. It's not a ghost. It's not a ghost. Ghosts don't exist, and if they do, well, one day we're going to find out. But that is something you'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. If you do a lift with a wrist strap or a knee wrap, it still counts as a real lift. Not if you go into a competition, but this isn't Simon Miller's fitness competition special YouTube channel. It's just, do you want to have a bigger back? Yes. Do you want to have a bigger leg? Yes. Do you want to have a bigger chest? I said leg, one small leg, one big leg. Of course you do. So if you're doing deadlifts, my word, get some wrist straps. Versa grips are the best ones I've ever used. They're crazy expensive. I dished out one day because I felt like I wanted to treat myself, and they are great. They help me deadlift, they help my grip, and they allow me to lift more weight. Would I be able to use them in a no-strap competition? No. Am I going to use them in my own life? Yes. Even though you go, same when you're doing squats. Wrap your knees up with leg wraps. You're protecting your knees. It doesn't affect your mobility at all. You can still do range of motion, and you're just prolonging how long you're going to be able to do squats for, because eventually your knees are going to go, because that's what happens in life. That's what's happening. We are all decomposing. We are all degrading. Every year that goes on, life's like, you've only got 1 year left or whatever it's going to be. So protect yourself as much as you can. They're all really, really cheap. If you don't want the Versa grips, there are plenty more alternatives. I am a massive fan of them, and they allow me to lift more weight. When I go into the gym, I want to lift more weight. I don't care about Jeff in the corner going, that guy's not doing a proper lift. Well, Jeff, kiss my ass. Number 9 is time your rest sets, right? Decide how long you're going to rest between each set you do. Now, sometimes it may be a bit longer, sometimes it may be a little bit quicker, depending on what you want to do, because you know when you're ready to lift again. What I often see is people just start dilly-dallying in between sets, and their workout runs long, and then they lose their intensity. And I get it, it can happen. Your mind can wander. You're not always going to be 100% jazzed to smash those weights. But if you actually have it, you've got a phone, right? We're going to talk about that in a second. But just smash start on your stopwatch. If you want to do 2 minutes, 2 minutes goes, your brain kicks into gear. Let's get back to it. It's also going to make you feel like you have a little bit of momentum. Like how stupid I look right now, but it's true. I get it. I've been there. Sometimes something just distracts you, and then you kind of clock the clock, and you're like, oh man, I just like 4 minutes between rests. Now, if you're doing sort of 1 rep maxes or you're training for big lifts, you do need to recover. But I think most people, some people don't like to leave any kind of times. They kind of do 45 seconds to a minute, which is also fine. You don't have to treat it like a science, and you don't have to treat it like the rule, like it's a headmister's just walked in the room, you must do this. But it's just, honestly, every time I do it, my workout is so much more productive, and it's kind of more fun, because all gyms are more fun when you have a plan, and this is just planning in how long you're going to rest. And number 8 is use your phone. I know the world's just come down. Someone that goes to the gym has said use your phone in the gym. That doesn't mean I want you to sit on a bench and use your phone for 62 minutes and then go home. That's terrible. But again, during your rest sets, if you're just going to be sat on that piece of equipment anyway for your 2 minutes, I think you're allowed to use your phone, but also you can use it for so many different things. The biggest of which is when the gym is full and you can't actually do the plan you wanted to, you can go best exercises for triceps. And you may go, I've never done a French press before. I've never done this, whatever, lat pull down. Don't do that. It's a bad website that says lat pull down. I've never done a near grip bench press before for triceps. And you can actually feed yourself information rather than just run around in a circle like a dog chasing its tail. It doesn't mean abuse your phone. It doesn't mean sit there and watch Netflix while someone looks at you from afar going, I can't believe that guy's watching Netflix. That will be me. But it is a tool that can be utilized. And I think we've got to the point now where it can be accepted in the right way. Number 7 is having a goal that isn't a personal best or a personal record. PB, PR, some people say it one way, some people say it the other way. If I don't say both, I get dragged through the coals and thrown into the sea. I don't really understand why. I'm not even a pirate. But if you just go in there with the idea that you did a 100 kilogram bench press last week, which is your PB, and that this week you're going to do 105, you're probably going to disappoint yourself, and then you're going to wreck your entire workout from that point on because you feel like you won't have achieved. So instead of doing that, maybe just, keep things a bit more simple. You do have to do progressive overload where you're lifting more weight or you're doing more reps or you're whatever, pick whatever the hell you want to do. But if you just go in there with the idea, again, keep it more of a plan-based thing. I'm going to do these 4 exercises on chest. I'm going to do these 3 exercises on tricep. I'm going to do these 2 exercises on shoulders. I'm going to make sure that I hit failure on every one. See, that's a great goal to have. I'm going to make sure I hit failure on every single exercise that I do today, or every single set that I do today. I'm going to do a drop set on every single set that I do today. That can be a goal. That can be part of it. Or maybe you think your workouts have been going too long. Maybe you've been pushing the 2-hour mark. You think today I'm going to get it in within 90 minutes. And then once again, you'll be clocking the clock. And that kind of gives you a goal as well. But it just means if you hit any kind of stumbling block or you hit any kind of hurdle, you have something to fall back on. Doesn't mean you shouldn't go for your PBs and your PRs. You should. But you also don't need to be hitting a brand new PB every week, especially when it comes to weight. Maybe your PB is just, I did 8 reps for 100 last week. Today, I did 9 reps for 100. That counts. That's still great. You're still on your way to getting jacked. Number 6 is holding the squeeze. We'll keep this nice and simple because no one does it in the gym. It's not even that much of a, oh my gosh, what amazing advice. But when I'm in the gym, sometimes these days, I like to witness things to try and get ideas for this. Nobody holds the weight at the top of the lift. Nobody. I would say 2.2%. I didn't do the statistics. I've just thrown it out there. It is such a good way to ensure you're breaking the muscle down. If you are doing lat pull downs, bring it down here, squeeze your lats, give it a couple of seconds. If you're doing bench press, get here, squeeze your chest. If you're doing military presses, shoulder presses, get to the top, squeeze your shoulders. Same with legs, same with everything. Let your body work for you. I know we want to do a bunch of reps and we all want to be really heavy all the time because we're men and we're buff and we're alphas, but it's not helping you. You're kicking your own ass. You wouldn't do that. If I was going to get into a fight with you, you wouldn't start kicking your own ass. Do you know how weird that would look? Everyone that obviously would have circled us to watch the fight, because that's what happens in the real world, they'd just be like, this guy's a freak. You're probably going to get arrested. Squeeze your damn muscles. Number 5 is stretch after every workout. Nobody does because it's boring. As soon as we're done lifting weights, you want to go eat. You want to go dive in the protein wagon. That's what you want to do. The protein pit, I should have said. You want to dive in the protein pit. Just take 5 minutes to stretch. Hold each stretch for around about 30 seconds. Otherwise, it doesn't really do anything. You don't have to do anything crazy. You can, not like that, but straight arms. You can put your straight arms in the air. You can touch your toes. You can lay on the floor and just roll around for a bit. Maybe do a bit of foam rolling. This goes back to, prevention and making sure you don't get injured. It will take you, you really want to do about 10 to 15 minutes, but if you just plan 5 minutes to do some stretching, you're going to feel better, your muscles are going to recover faster, you're going to be able to get back to the gym quicker, and that's all the gym is. All the gym is breaking your muscles down and then getting to recover as quickly as possible so you can break the muscles down. It's a circle of life. It's what Rafiki was singing about in The Lion King. It wasn't about what Mustafa or was a kid called Simba. It wasn't about what Simba was going to do. It was about how quickly he could get back in the gym and smash his abs. Arnold?
He's alive. He's alive.
Number 4 is give yourself a break. And I mean that mentally and physically. I get it's really, really tempting to go to the gym every day because it's just fun, right? And you just want to be able to eat the world until the gym kind of justifies it. But obviously you do need to recover. We just talked about it. But give yourself a mental break as well, right? Like I go on so many fitness things these days, be it social media or YouTube channels, and a lot of in the comments, a lot of reaction like, oh, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. Well, think about what you did do. Right? Think about what you did do. Think about what you have achieved. Think about where you were 6 months ago before you even went to the gym. Think about how much you've learned over that half a year period. I think sometimes it's okay to take a minute and just pat yourself on the back to realize, man, I've come a long way. Who knows where I'm going to be in a year? And that way too, you just fill yourself with positive thoughts and your next gym session will be even more exciting. So don't be afraid to take a day off. It's not going to make a difference. In fact, it will help you. It will put you in a better position to actually make gains. But also, even if you don't have the best time or you're struggling, figure it out and be kind to your brain. Number 3 is track your workouts. Nobody tracks their workouts. Again, I looked. Nobody had any books. If anybody was on their phone, as always, they were watching Netflix. If you had bank balances, which you do, you all have bank accounts, you wouldn't not want to be able to jump back to October to figure out what did I spend here, what did I spend there, did I go into my overdraft? It's the same with your workouts. If you've just hit 200 kilograms and you all of a sudden think, well, a deadlift, and all of a sudden you think, well, what did I do a year ago? What's my ratios? How far have I come? What's my stats? You don't know. And if you've written it down or you put it in your phone, you can just look back. Oh, a year ago, I was only doing 120. I've put on 80 kilograms of weight in a 12-month period. That's fantastic. And then you can make bigger goals for yourself. In a year's time, maybe I should be doing this. Maybe I should be doing that. It doesn't always work. It's never like for like. It's never one-to-one because there's so many variables. But you can only know where you want to go by kind of knowing where you've been. And it takes 2 seconds. Like you do 8 reps on incline press. You want 8 reps, incline press, 22 kilograms. That's it, done. It's in there. It's important, do it. Number 2 is be accountable or find somebody that you can be accountable to. It's a tremendous thing. You wouldn't think it sounds awful. Be accountable. You're like, I don't want to do that. So someone's going to tell me off. And it's not really that, but when you get a personal trainer, I think the reason it helps so much, other than the information they have, is that because you have to check in once a week and maybe you've cheated a little bit or you haven't done exactly what you could do, you will admit it to them. They will hopefully give you a loving arm on the shoulder and says, well, next week, let's try better. And it's probably going to give you better motivation. And it's like anything. Like if you have a deadline for work, but you have no one to appease by getting it in for that deadline, you're probably going to go, I'm not going to hit that deadline. If no one's going to kick your ass for not hitting the deadline and you want to take an extra day or two, you will. But if you know your boss is going to come down in like a ton of bricks, I can't believe you didn't get a rub deadline. Like, dude, grow up, man. One day we're going to die. We talked about this. You're going to get it done. And that's what's good about the gym as well, right? It's just knowing that you have someone that's going to say yes, no, maybe, in the middle. It just works. We're just nature. It's just how we work as human beings. It's the same with anything. Same with everything. If you get a bill through the post and it says you must pay this by this date, you pay it by this date. And if you don't, you get another bill and it's all red. It goes, you haven't paid the bill. You're like, and you pay the bill straight away. It is exactly the same with the gym. You need to know that there are consequences for not doing what you're doing, unless you're a self-motivated person, then it changes it differently. But we're still talking about a positive environment here, but it does mean that you train harder because otherwise you can let somebody down. Number 1 is work out for you. And while I do mean that in the sense, don't worry about what anybody else is doing, I also mean it literally. The amount of people I see, they'll walk into a gym and they want to do deadlifts today, but then they see someone doing a Romanian deadlift. They're like, whoa, maybe I'm doing it wrong. They don't use their phone like we've already established. They don't do any research, and then they start doing Romanian deadlifts for their back. Now, it will work your back, but it's more of a hamstring exercise. You should have stuck with the original deadlifts. And I get it. The guy that was doing the Romanian deadlifts had the greatest physique you'd ever seen in your life, and you want to look like him, so you're going to copy it. I get it. Why do you think fitness magazines always run, here's The Rock's workout and diet, here's Arnold Schwarzenegger's, here's Chris Hemsworth? Because people want to look like those dudes, so they will read it and they will copy it verbatim. But do not do it. You don't know why he's doing these things. You don't know what that exercise does. If you think you have a plan, have faith in yourself and follow it through. And the secret number 1 entry is also, when you are finished working out, why don't you just jump up and down and celebrate? You're laughing to yourself now and you think someone will be kicked out of the gym. No, you won't. How great would that be? If you celebrate, like Kool and the Gang, every single time you finish your workout, you are going to create such a good atmosphere in yourself. Your brain, Pavlovian conditioning, is going to start going, man, can we go to the gym again? Because every time we finish, for some reason we're jumping around and we're having a great time. I know, you're rolling your eyes, you think I'm a crazy person. Give it a go. I sometimes do it. I wait till I'm in the car park and no one can see me. But I do a little boogie. I do a little get down to Chinatown. It's awesome. It's great. And yes, when you get caught, it's really embarrassing. So there you go, 10 things you don't do in the gym that you should, that will help you get muscles and jacked and all these other things. It's all about progressive, it's all about keeping things varied. Never forget that. Like the video, share the video, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell, ding ding, then you know when other videos are going live. There's another video on the screen right now. Give it a click if you want to carry on hanging out with me, Simon Miller. Understand if you don't. I got bullied in school. It makes perfect sense. Instagram and Twitter at Simon316, patreon.com/Simon316, merchandise Simon.pigcartel.com. But otherwise, have a great workout, whatever you want to do today, whatever you plan to do today, smash it with power, get that extra 1 rep in for me, and I'll see you soon. Do it for Gerald.